What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this Plum Crazy 2023 Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack. This one's MSRP is $53,400. Let's go ahead and take a look at the last of the Dodge Challenger. So underneath the hood you're going to find that naturally aspirated 8-cylinder Hemi engine. This thing is a 6.4 liter, pumping out 485 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. This is rear-wheel drive paired to a 6-speed manual transmission. 0 to 60 is in the mid 4 seconds, 0 to 100 is in the mid 10 seconds. And this car's curb weight is around 4,200 pounds. So if we take a look at the styling, this is a super retro looking muscle car. I love the design. Got these LED round headlights, got the RT logo, gloss black trim, and I really like the classic script font for Challenger. It has a really cool front end design. I love how squared off it is. It's just super retro. And then you have this really massive front splitter with fog lights, large opening as well. And then as we move to the hood, you're gonna see that intake duct with really sharp lines surrounding it, heat extraction vents. Such a big hood. I mean, this is a muscle car, true and true, so it does look really, really cool. At the side profile, we have a set of 20-inch wheels, Brembo brakes, nice 5-spoke design with a split aspect to it, really sharp body lines surrounding the front fender, 392 Scat Pack logo as well, and then a prominent sharp body line throughout the entire side profile. We have body colored on the door handles and mirrors, black trim around the windows, and I love the side profile. This is a huge car. I mean, honestly, this is probably the biggest two-door car out there aside from maybe a Rolls Royce, but this thing is very large, nice proportions, super flat body panels as well. Just really comes together. In back, we have this Scat Pack logo on this really nice satin black spoiler. Got your camera, trunk button, Dodge is written out, LED taillights, big black diffuser. You're gonna see parking sensors, and then your dual exhaust tip. And then it just really looks nice. I like all the square shapes to it. It's still a clean design even this many years later. And you have a cool fuel cap on the left side. Moving to the trunk now, if we just press the button, open this up, you have an ample amount of cargo area. This is huge back here. Probably can fit 5 golf bags. And of course the seats are gonna fold down as well just to give you even more storage space. Manually close that up. If we head to the interior now, you have the button on it to where you are gonna have a smart key and everything. And then if we pull this lever, get the seat out of the way, you can see our rear seats. You can see it 3 people back here. And there are some amenities. Now I like the checker material on the fabric. You have your climate vents back here. And then you can also open this up for an armrest with 2 cup holders. Now if I go ahead and pull this seat back, at 5'11", I actually can sit back here. You have a pretty good amount of visibility, good headroom, decent legroom and kneeroom with the seat at my height. So not a bad back seat, significantly better than a Camaro or a Mustang. Now if we go ahead and climb out, not the most graceful thing in the world, but of course it's a 2-seat car or 2-door car, so that's about what you would expect. So on the door panel, this one's more of a basic interior. You're just gonna see the fabric and the vinyl material, got storage in it as well, release handle, all your controls, Alpine audio. I like the Challenger written on the door sill. You do have a little bit of power controls, manual recline, and then fabric with a 2-tone material. So cool looking seats, again, kind of simple. They have nice bolsters and they are huge, so you really can fit pretty comfortably in this car. Now we have that 6-speed manual, so foot on the clutch, fire up that Hemi engine. Now it's kind of interesting, there are 4 pedals in this car. You have your e-brake, which is actually a foot pedal, which is kind of unique. Not really any modern sports cars have that. We have a nice black leather steering wheel with perforations, controls on the left side to control the screen, cruise control on the right. Now if we go ahead and scroll up and down, you can see that digital speedometer. You can scroll left and right through some of these menus and get a lot more information that will pop up. A few more things will come up as well. Fuel economy, things like that. So pretty nice to see all that. Tach on the left, speedometer on the right, and then on the left side we just have windshield wipers. Headlight controls are down here with your air vent, some rubber material on the dashboard, Scat Pack logo on the far right side, and then you have shortcuts down below for media, climate, navigation system. You can of course view that map. We have our different apps as well. Under SRT dashboard, you can see our launch control you're able to adjust. We have different race options, launch control in here, line lock. You have your drive mode you can go through and adjust your steering and traction control. So pretty nice to see all of that. If we go ahead and exit out of there, we can also go into SRT mode, which gets you back to that screen. And then if we go back into the dashboard performance pages, they take a while to load, which of course this is the older system, so you kind of just gotta wait for some lag. But with it on now, we can see our dyno. You can also see the engine. Kind of neat to see that. G-force meter, different gauges, timers, and our home screen. Now if I go ahead and put it into reverse, we have a pretty decent backup camera. Graphics could of course be better. Is what it is for at least a decade-old technology in this car. But we have some physical controls down below for volume, launch, drive modes, climate controls. I do really like the shift boot with the ball style for the shift knob itself. It really does feel pretty cool. Got this plastic material and cup holders, and then a little bit of storage space. Glove box is a good amount of space as well. And then one last look at the interior. Obviously it's a dated car, but nonetheless, still kind of a cool place to be, especially with a 6-speed. Black headliner. We have a sunglass holder, garage door buttons, and a nice mirror. All right, setting off now in the Challenger. I will say I love being in a 6-speed manual. That just kind of brings it back to the old school cars. The clutch pedal is very short. It does give you some good feedback as far as the bite point. There's a good weight to it. It's just like super short, and it's kind of up high to where my knees almost at the steering wheel. So a little interesting compared to like other sports cars, you know, versus this car. I mean, even a Mustang or a Camaro, the clutch I feel like is a lot longer in the throw. The shifter is fun to go through the gears, pretty easy to do a rev match and everything. And then there's some good weight to the shifter as well, to where, you know, you feel like you gotta kind of muscle it a little bit. So I like that aspect. I think that goes a long way, giving this that raw muscle car feeling. As far as overall acceleration, this isn't really all too fast. It's pretty darn quick, I would say. It just weighs so much to where when you compare a V8 Mustang or a V8 Camaro, you know, the GTs and SSs, I mean, they are significantly faster vehicles. But nonetheless, this still gets up and goes. I mean, you can have a lot of fun with it. I think the Scat Pack at least is a huge step up over the standard RT. So to me, this is a good sweet spot without getting into a Hellcat. And the price point for 53 grand, it kind of feels like a bargain. With the manual, it just makes it so much more fun. This truly is a fun car without breaking the bank. I really like that. I think it's pretty cool. Visibility, normal things like that. You have a huge windshield. It's pretty easy to see around the front. The back is pretty tight. That C-pillar is massive, and the trunk is really tall. So it's not the easiest as far as visibility. However, it's pretty decent once you kind of get used to it. Suspension is a little stiff in this mode, at least. I don't think it's adaptive or anything like that, but you can certainly feel the bumps. It's got a more rigid platform. So it's a cool car. It's kind of old school feeling now when you compare this to even more modern vehicles, but it's kind of nice to be in. It's super roomy. You have so much space, obviously the trunk and everything. I mean, this truly is a car. You could daily drive this too. It's easy to drive, really not all too crazy. You can tell there's a huge footprint. The hood is very far away. The trunk is very far away. But it's an easy car to drive around. So it's cool. If you want that muscle car feeling, that old school big car, this is something to take a look at, especially since this might be the final year, I believe, 2023. I don't think there's a 2024. It is just fun to play around with. You got some power to it. You got a pretty good sound. The technology, obviously this is old. It still gives you everything you need. You know, nothing more, nothing less. Just the graphics, I would say, are the worst part of it. It just looks very basic and kind of old, but you still have the information that you need. So it's not the worst system out there. Same with the screen in the center. You have plenty to go through. So I don't know, the Challenger is still cool. Even though it's an old car, I still think it looks amazing. I think the exterior design is going to age perfectly and timeless. Interior could certainly use a nice update, but nonetheless, when you're driving in a Challenger with a manual and you got that Scat Pack, it's something you can just kind of smile. You may not be winning every drag race given it weighs so much and you're not going to be taking the sharpest turns, but you're going to have some fun if you're driving this car. I truly think this is a really fun car. and something to take a look at as these V8s are dying out. Definitely a cool car.